that into the recap. It was a lot of fun. It was a huge adrenaline dump when it was all over.
So just for people who don't know, that's the most recent World Championship. So you had that was a draw after draw after draw after draw.
Yeah.
And it was kind of boring in that way. Or maybe are draws, is there like non-boring parts within the draw to you when you were like just studying it carefully?
For me, yes. For the average viewer, no. That's the truth. Especially when the game itself is not that exciting. When Magnus plays a strange move on move 9 or 10 that hasn't ever been played, and then Jan has to try to exploit it, and he fails, and no attack builds up, and they shuffle their pieces for 3 hours.
My favorite thing is when the commentators like, I don't know why he did that. I wonder why he did that. Like,
yeah.
When the commentators are confused, that's as a person who's just a spectator, just like, that's interesting, because then the most interesting part is about listening to the commentators who, I guess themselves might be grandmasters. They are trying to, I guess, just like Nepo, just like Magnus, tried to figure out what's the idea here. What are you thinking? Yeah. That's cool. That's an interesting part of the game. But other than that, it seemed, I was sure this is just going to keep being a draw, especially in that situation. Mm-hmm. So it seems almost remarkable that Magnus was able to pull out a win in Game 6, and after that, at least Magnus said that ends it, because now Nepo's going to have to take more risks, and that opens it up to pure chess. And then who was it? Steve Prefontaine said, like, whenever the race is down to like pure guts, then that's when I win it.
There was also a conversation about Jan's first half, second half in any tournament. In the first half, he's just brilliant, on fire. You could even say he was outplaying Magnus. But the entire conversation before the match was Jan slows down. And at the first sign of a loss or a setback, the match might fall apart. And that was the worst way to lose. There was literally no worse way. And it just got worse from there and there. I mean, it was one move mistakes. But he's back. Jan has won the candidates again. He's going to play for the World Championship. So
who you got? Who you got? What is this slang terminology? Can we somehow edit that into a more sophisticated, with a British accent type of phraseology? Okay, who do you think will win that match?
I think it's 55-45, but I don't know. I don't know.
So it's close.
It's very close.
Okay.
You can make both cases. You could say you could say Jan has been here before. You can say to the World Championship stage, he knows what it's like to have a training camp, and so on and so forth. His playing style is very... But you can also say Ding Liren is one of the most stable, unemotional chess players. And Ding oftentimes goes from down to up. So in the candidates, he lost to Jan in the very first game. A 14-round tournament, he got demolished in the first game. I'm sure he was suffering from jet lag. The flight, he came to Spain like 2 days before the games began, which was crazy to me. And he got second place by the end. His chances of finishing in the top 2 were like 2%. After that first round game, people wrote him off completely. So he doesn't go from top down, he goes the opposite way. And if he loses, he might come back. But the truth is, I don't know. The truth is, it's going to be an interesting match. And it's also disappointing we're not going to get Magnus in it.
Yeah, what do you think about him stepping away from the World Championship? Are you a romantic about the World Championships?
No, I'm not a romantic about anything, I don't think. I can't imagine what...
dark. That went dark quickly.
I don't think I'm sophisticated enough to be a romantic. I think I taught chess, and now I make YouTube videos. I'm not qualified on the subject of romanticism, but...
You don't think it's a beautiful game?
Chess?
Yeah.
No, I think it is a beautiful game.
There you go, I got you.
Yeah. Is that considered being a romantic?
Yeah, I was seeing the beauty in the... You can be like Bach and seeing the math in the music, or you can see the beauty, the magic.
I think I see beauty in certain types of chess for sure. Not in all chess. So I'll partially romantic.
Check.
Part-time romantic. Yeah. So what do you feel about Magnus stepping away from the World Championships?
Disappointing, but understandable.
Can you steel man his case? What's understandable about it to you?
I don't think it's as prestigious as it could be. I don't think
the World Championship.
Yeah.
Why does Magnus still sign everything as world champion then?
That's a good point. That he did just put out a statement, and he did.
But he does it everywhere else too.
Does he really?
Yeah, like world champion, right? World champion.
I don't know.
World champion, world chess champion.
Maybe it's just because he won it, but he thinks that the journey to the top once again to maintain the status quo has lost its appeal. You know what the example that I like to make? I'm a big fan of UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So we've never really seen, with the exception of George St. Pierre, walking and Khabib, but Khabib was kind of a different story, walking away from a belt at the absolute zenith of their career. But also in the UFC, champions are extremely well taken care of. I mean, champions have some of the best lives. Of course, you can argue not all champions. You can say some of the lower weight divisions, yes. But what I'm saying is a lot of them get all the sponsors. They get massive, massive paydays. They're international celebrities. I don't think chess has that. In fact, the World Championship of Chess prize fund has not changed much in like 40 years.
So you could probably make more money on YouTube.
Yes.
Playing not randos, but having fun. And playing really challenging games, playing other Super Grandmasters, like an ad hoc events, or maybe a little bit organized events, but not the World Championship.
Yeah.
And still have a lot of fun, make a lot of money, get everybody excited, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So for Magnus specifically, and we're using him because he's the world champion. If he wins every tournament that he plays in over the course of a year, which is really not even that crazy of an estimate, because that's really how it seems sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money that is. I haven't tallied, but if he dedicated an entire year to being managed on social media and doing various things and growing all his brands and getting sponsor deals, I think he would make 5 times more than being the world champion, which is crazy.
Yeah, but money isn't everything.
I know, that's totally
Some
fair.
people dedicate their whole life to winning the Olympics. Mm-hmm. The Olympics is an interesting one too, because like I didn't even watch the Olympics as carefully as I usually do.
This year, me neither.
It's really strange. I'm not sure why that is. And during COVID, I'm not sure. That was weird. I don't know if it's losing its magic. Part of it is also the people that own the Olympics and the way they distribute it. They make it a little bit more difficult to watch. Like it should, in my opinion, it should all be just available on YouTube and easily accessible. It's like the difference between like SpaceX and some other like even NASA. Just SpaceX is better at streaming their launches and commentating them. And they've made NASA better as well. But just like the ability, it sounds ridiculous, but making it more frictionless for people to watch, get excited, to share, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, like I'm not exactly sure where the magic like balance is between the classy traditional world championships and the kind of dramatic, exciting streamer world. And it feels like for the world championships to be relevant, they have to find that balance.
Yeah, well, this recent one
it's pretty good commentating. Yeah.
No, I'm not even necessarily talking about myself. There was a lot of.
No, that was the worst part for me.
No, there was. Well,
you did amazing. Yeah.
I appreciate that. It was a lot of. It was a big arms race, so every major chess platform tried to get one super grandmaster. Vishwanathan Anand, Fabiano Caruana, you name it, they were basically involved. And to go back to that point, the big question is money. And if Magnus is not motivated by money, if the prize fund for the next world championship was $10 million, would he play it? If he says no, then it must be something else. It must just be a matter of something's not worth it. It's not worth it.
You gotta take him at his word, and his word is like there's too much stress to the low sample play. Yeah, like I want to play many more times.
Yeah, he wants to play more. He wants to make games. It more interesting. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, more shorter games, like where you can increase the possibility of pure chess. Whatever the heck that means.
Yeah, but we can't go back to the first Karpov-Kasparov match, which they had to stop due to health concerns. I mean, the guy went down 5-0, and it was first to 6 wins. and draws didn't count. So draws didn't amass to the total score. There was no best of system.
So what happened there?
The match went something like 7-8 months. Kasparov started making a comeback after being down 5-0. He was 5-3, and they called it off. They said both players are in poor health conditions. Kasparov stormed down, yelled that this is a farce, but the match was 50 games long. Even more, maybe. I made a video, and I don't even remember how many games it was. It was so long. Can you imagine? Bobby Fischer wanted something almost as extreme. Draws don't count. It's first one to 10 wins, and if it's 9-9, the world champion retains his title. So you have to beat the world champion 10-8. That's the only way.
So you don't like that?
What?
It's just grueling?
I don't know. Maybe I like it for the YouTube recaps, but do I like it for the players? And do I like it for general public? No.
Torture.
Yeah, it's 3-4 hours, right? You imagine your favorite tennis match was 6 months long. Right? What are we doing?
Yeah. There's still a magic to the World Championship. I wish they could make it some interesting. They make it work somehow. But
Yeah.
I think Magnus is really challenging FIDE and everybody else to step up and try to figure that out, which is great ultimately. Who would you say is the greatest of all time? Can you make the case? You mentioned Kasparov. Can you make the case for Kasparov? Can you make the case for Magnus Carlsen, Bobby Fischer, Tall?
In my opinion, you can make a case for Magnus, Gary, and Bobby Fischer. I'm not one of the folks that's like, oh, I mean, Capablanca was brilliant. You can argue Steinitz was brilliant, but I think it's probably Kasparov, and Magnus has a chance to overtake it.
So the longevity is really important to you when you were thinking about this.
Yes, I think so. I think Magnus is very, very close. I think it's extremely close.
What would be the magic?
You gotta get that sixth one.
Oh, so
I'm just kidding.
So the World Championships matter.
It's kind of like basketball, right? Rings. It's all comes down to how many rings did this person win.
What about, well, basketball doesn't have the number of years of number one.
I'm winning.
Like rating. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like there is a, which is what Magnus really likes, is like there is a nice system of rating of who is ranked number one, and it has to do not with some championships or low sampled tournaments. It has to do with general game after game after game helps estimate more accurately the ELO rating. So
Yeah, he's been world number one for I think 11 years, right?
which is still less than
Gary was world number one for 20 years. Yeah, which is quite wild.
but still lower rating, I think, than Magnus now, right?
Yeah, I think rating in general has sort of.
Allegedly, it got inflated.
Yeah,
is that true? Is there truth to that?
I think so. I can't speak to how exactly it happened, but it also happens online. If you go back just 3 or 4 years, I think some of the best blitz players on, let's say, chess.com were 27, 2800, and now they're 3200. I think it's just sort of what happens, but I don't exactly know. I will mention that there was a very strange change, not exactly sure when the year was, in FIDE, so over the board chess, where if you were under the age of 16 or 18 years old, one of those two, and you were below 2300, okay, your rating change factor was 3 to 4 times higher. So just imagine what that means. Magnus has a rating change factor of let's say 1. I have a rating change factor also of 1. Anybody over the rating 2,400 has the same rating change factor.
What is the rating change factor? So if you win,
Yeah, there's a formula, and basically, let's say at the very base level, 5-point change. If your rating change factor is 1, you beat somebody, you gain 5 points. Those kids who were under 18 and under 2300, their rating change factor was 4. So their ratings were going up 4 times higher and 4 times like up and down compared to normal folks. And there was one teenager in the US in particular who in 1 month played a bunch of tournaments with his rating change factor and became nearly rated 2,640, which is top 50 in the world. He was just a random teenager from the United States. He became a grandmaster ultimately, but he bled like 90 points down because his rating was so inflated. And the K40 exists now. I mean, you have many kids who out of nowhere, 2,100, 2,400 after, one good month. It's like, what? So
That's interesting. That's like similar to like how TikTok inflates your virality early on.
does it?
Well, yeah, like
I don't know.
well, at least the rumor is like they want you to get engaged, and I thought there was even artificial likes and so on that they want you to get that dopamine addiction. So maybe they want to throw you, if you're really passionate about chess, they want you to throw you to the sharks by artificially inflating your rating, and maybe that gets you into the game much more intensely.
Maybe that.
I don't know. I wonder how many like backdoor FIDE meetings there are with cigars, and so that was the factors determined by who does the ELO rating.
Who changes this stuff?
Yeah,
Who knows?
it's probably those lead chess anarchists.
Yeah, exactly. I think they wanna stay away from that stuff. But
So there's a guy named Hans Niemann,
yeah,
and he beat Magnus Carlsen recently.
yeah.
It has been already. Was it August?
September 4th.
Oh, it was September. So he beat him
Yes.
twice, right? Recently. Once is the allegations
You don't want to play though, bro.
by the internet that Hans Niemann cheated,
Rewind.
and then the second time, Magnus played a few moves and forfeited and resigned.
Oh, there's three.
Okay, sorry. Can you?
No, yeah.
Can we go through the stuff?
Yes. So they play a live esports event in Miami Beach,
Yes.
Eden Rock.